Bonjour mes gourmands et bienvenue à ma cuisine. This week we're going vegan again and we'll make a staple of vegan diet, Seitan, or as it's called in Vietnamese, mì căn. I'm happy to introduce to you a super easy recipe for plain mì căn, which doesn't need kneading and which is really foolproof. Also, we'll use regular all-purpose flour for this recipe, so it's super cost efficient. If you'd like to know how mì căn is related to me and my family, then make sure to stay until the outro. And now let's make some mì căn. For 3 servings, we'll only need 1 kilogram or 7 cups of all-purpose flour, 750 ml or 3 1/4 cup of water for the dough, and even more water to boil the dough in. First, I'm putting the flour into a fairly large bowl. You can use all-purpose flour from any brand you like. It doesn't even have to be expensive. Gradually add the water and combine it with the flour by kneading. Since I don't like having the gooey dough sticking to my hands, I'm using my hand mixer paired with kneading hooks. If you don't like kneading, you can have the hand mixer or the KitchenAid do the whole job. Just make sure there are no flour lumps left in the dough. However, if there are some flour pockets left in there, that's no biggie either, as you can get rid of them later. You can of course also knead the dough by hand if you don't have a hand mixer. When combined, wrap up the bowl with some cling foil and let the dough rest for an hour. Now we'll want to wash the dough. Fill the bowl with water and either press the dough together in your hand or rub one side of it against the other to release the starch. You can see how the starch changes the water color into a milky white. You'll want to dump the water after a minute, refill the bowl and continue washing. Repeat those steps another 8 times until the water is merely becoming pale white. Also, if you missed any flour pockets earlier, those will have become sort of little firm dough balls which you can easily pull out of the dough. If you feel that the dough is falling apart, turning into dough threads, that's absolutely fine. It'll solidify as you continue to wash the dough. Also, it will reduce in size, as 1 kilogram of flour equals 500 grams of mì căn in the end. And so this is what the dough looks like when it's done washing. Fill up a pot with enough water to immerse the wheat gluten in and bring it to a boil over high. Then reduce the heat to medium and place the dough into the water. If you want a smaller, more compact piece of mì căn, use a smaller pot. Use a bigger pot to get a bigger piece, which is also fluffier. Use a spatula to turn the dough every 5 minutes to prevent it from sticking to the bottom in the beginning. The mì căn is done after 30 minutes of cooking. Take the mì căn out of the water, place it onto a cutting board and press the mì căn against it to release the water in there. The mì căn can be stored in the fridge for about a week. If you want to store them for a couple of months, simply put it into the freezer so it's ready to use whenever you're in the mood for a vegan dish. Also, mì căn, aka Seitan, is basically just wheat gluten, so if you or your guests are allergic to gluten, then you probably should consider opting for tofu as an alternative. My grandmother used to follow a vegetarian diet twice a month because, according to Buddhist beliefs, it would be best if you refrain from consuming meat. So, twice a month, on the 1st and the 15th of every lunar calendar month, my aunt would make a special vegetarian dish for my grandmother. So amongst these dishes, there would often be served mì căn. So now that you know how to make the basic and plain mì căn, I will gradually introduce you to some Vietnamese dishes which feature mì căn, aka Seitan. We'll start off next week with refreshing mì căn xào xả ớt, a Seitan stir fry with lemongrass and chili peppers. Thank you so very much for joining me in the kitchen today. If you like this recipe, then please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, suggestions, or if you'd just like to say hi, then leave me a message in the comment section down below. Proud of your cooking? Make sure to let us know by publishing a picture of it on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag KenLG. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to receive weekly updates on awesome recipes for Asian food and international patisserie. I hope to see you next Friday again when I have a new recipe prepared for you. Until then, bye!